Thank you very much, Mark and Jat. Welcome to LCS tonight. I am Phreak, joined by Zirene and special guest CLG support Biofrost, CLG carry as well, I feel like. Overall, an outstanding player. So let's talk about the fact that it's been a very fun week of games. You guys picked up some wins yourself. As we wrap up the day, let's look at the standings overall and see how these teams have stood up. Echo Fox and Team Liquid tied first place. I feel like I've seen this before in the spring split. Them doing very well in the regular season. CLG in a big tie for third place here as well. Cloud9 and FlyQuest at the bottom, which is maybe surprising to some, maybe not so much for others, but still kind of interesting to see a gigantic tie in the middle.
Yeah, I think this split already, we're seeing no teams have no wins. FlyQuest picked up their first one today. So there seems to be a lot of parity, but I think a decent amount of that is meta-based, and people still trying to figure out what's an optimal strategy for them, what fits their team. And I think it's still like kind of up in the air. So the teams that should be elite are having sometimes like not the strategy that they expect coming out of their opponent, and they're caught off guard a bit too.
How do you feel about this? Do you think these standings reflect what you've seen in practice? Are you surprised by much of it? What's going on for you?
Well, I'm pretty surprised how poorly C9 is doing, actually, because I thought that actually the change, they were playing pretty well. And I think Team Liquid is expected to be at the top along with Echo Fox. It's pretty similar, but I think people are just still figuring out the meta. It's so crazy.
Yeah, on the C9 thing, they went 0-2 this week, but they had massive leads in both of their games, right? They had the game where Golden Glue was like 2 levels above the funnel strat Kai'Sa, and then the game that they just had where they were really far ahead, and then Licorice was like split pushing, a few catches on him, Keith dying a bit too. It's like this team seems like they can get through the early mid game and have large leads, but I feel like they're kind of lacking that veteran shot calling from the team, like closing out the game and having everybody be on the same page, which isn't surprising considering they have rookies in terms of like Zeyzal doing a
I mean, think about it. Every single person on the C9 roster joined this year. Every single player is new to C9 at this point here. So, you know, yes, of course, Sven's played for a very long time and everything else, but it's still kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I see the potential.
Yeah, the potential's there. I feel like you must, as all times. Just filling in the memes, of course, that one. So anyway, more to talk about, though. Last week, Hooney posted his time to the Sion Speedway, a new addition to NALCS tonight. If you missed it, we'll talk about this again. Every week, we're going to put our pros on the Sion Speedway and time their run around a custom racetrack and post their times on the leaderboard. Thankfully, I am not in last place anymore. Thank you to Mark Z for being the worst. We've had a couple more additions you can see to this roster. Of course, Hooney still reigns supreme by over a second over Dash. Fitting, by the way, Dash is a fast one here as well. Now, for those who missed it, of course, players ult straight down the straightaways. You drift around hairpin turns, you avoid bumping into the walls. All kinds of fun stuff here as you can watch one of our producers do a very bad job of that, and that's all fine. Of course, you can't flash over the walls. You can only use your active items and summoner spells once, and now we're going to have Biofrost take his time as well. So Biofrost, if you are ready, we all believe in you to be better than Mark.
I think I actually might be worse than Mark.
No, I
You just have to get better than Mark. That's it. 53 seconds.
Okay.
All right, he's going to make his way over to the best friend testing station. And I do believe, I mean, Sion's been a support before. You've played it at least once.
Has he?
Yeah, I've been playing it so much, actually.
See, now I want to see like if he does it with Bard or something, it just go through all the walls.
Yeah, that's definitely not how this game's supposed to work. All right, you're ready to unpause when you feel like it, and we will get you going on this one. Zirene, it's time to shoutcast this.
All right, let's see what he's picked up first, because there's so many different items you can go with. You get to use all of your actives one time. That's it. Flash once, ghost once, and immediately he's off. And it looks like he's got 2 spellbinders.
Dripping on the bottom side towards the wall. Gets through the base gate. Beautiful right
Goes
there.
up. Yeah, that's really
the first
good.
redirection. Pops one of the actives for move speed as well. Drifts around the bottom jungle.
Ooh, that one's always really tough.
Okay, we've been
It's okay.
All right, that's fine. And again, you cannot flash this wall. It's against the rules, so you do have to walk around. I thought of that initially, and I was like, no, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
Yep, okay, decent speed through that bottom corner, though, and now through the mid part. How far can you go? Now, there's dummies here.
He's going to get into the dummies. Oh!
That's okay. Get through one of them, and then yeah, get around to start the next drift.
Right, still has flash.
Pretty much he's still better than Mark, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he just needs to get better than Mark. That's it.
All right.
Got 13 seconds. It's okay.
This is not how my run went, actually. This is going to be like a freak.
Wait, better than Mark? Better than Mark?
Oh, 49! 50! Better than Mark! We'll get the fraction of a second in for that one later. I believe I'm above Biofrost, but he's above Mark. That's the important thing. I think him and Avali will be the close ones together in this one. So come on back when you're ready, I do believe. Not last place. Not all that really matters.
That's really what matters at the end of the day. The question is, it was better than Mark. Was it better than Avali's?
I think it's the close one.
Second to
close
last
one. We'll get the fractions later on. Thank you.
Now I want to see Mark's run, because you hit like every wall.
I think I even cheated. I think I pressed inactive twice.
Did you press your Predator at all in that? I think you might have canceled your Predator at some point, too.
Yeah, you're right. 51:53 was the time, but you were right. You had an active a second time, so 52:53 is the official time, which is still better than Mark. With a 1 second penalty, still better than Mark. And it would have been tied with Offley, basically. You were 0.3 off on the stopwatch time.
God, that is awful.
I feel okay being like 50 and a half, where it's like, all right, yeah, you know, I'm middle of the pack, a couple people.
I mean, granted, you did have a little less time than everybody else to practice. I mean, some people got like 10, 15 minutes. Some people have been like theory crafting it for a bit.
I think 2 or 3 practice runs and then did mine live.
It's just support player mechanics, honestly.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
All right, well, our next segment here is going to be called Filling in the Blank. And basically, we're going to need chat to chime in on this one. During the first and fourth questions, we'll be listening to you and what you want to answer this one. But what we did is we scraped together some of the Reddit post-game threads, and we found some reasonably juicy comments to review, but we stripped the player name, and it's time for you at home and our guests here to guess who we thought Reddit was talking about. It's going to be fun. So we're going to jump into our first comment right here from Belt Hat, and it says, Raid Boss Blank made an early appearance this season. Spam your guess, which we think it's going to be. Power of Evil, Golden Glue, Febiven, Darshan, or Someday.
Is this from the entire week for the end?
I do believe it's the whole weekend.
Ooh.
Who was called a raid boss in a Reddit thread?
I know.
You actually know? Did you read this thread?
No.
Okay. How do you know? Is it just Darshan? You're just like my teammate? I'm just for him?
No, I don't think it's Darshan.
No, I don't think it's Darshan. I don't think it's Golden Glue, but it could be. I don't think it's Febiven, so I'm like eliminating Darshan and Febiven.
Okay.
But Golden Glue it could be.
Well, it's because they lost, though. It's like hard to pick
right?
C9, you know?
But like Power of Evil had a funnel strat towards him, and then Someday played the Aatrox and popped off. I'm actually going to say it's Someday.
So I'm actually okay with it being Aatrox, and it actually is Someday here for the first answer. Raid bosses are hard to kill. It takes the whole team to do so. Sometimes they revive in multiple phases. That feels like what Aatrox does. I cheated, actually saw the answer before, but I still wanted to make it everyone believe I was smart. But yeah, big stuff out of Someday. Honestly, pretty crazy. Cool stuff for him.
Yeah, what did you
see a highlight reel?
I was wrong. I thought it was Power of Evil.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's a reasonable mess to make. And of course, as we buy some time, we will have the fan vote coming in at the end as well as we keep watching Someday be incredible. Won today as well, despite a very tough laning phase against Licorice. And as the votes come through, chat indeed was able to cheat and thought it was Someday.
Yeah, 100% able to cheat. How did nobody say Power of Evil? Maybe they're saying POE? I don't know.
I can see that. It's hard to spell more than 6 letters at a time, and I mean, anyone who actually uses chat, maybe not, I don't know. Either way, next one up here, we're gonna move on to our next comment. This one coming from Wind Eris. It says, Blank really wanting their starter spot. Damn.
Oh, yeah, I was like,
yeah, it's basically all the people coming in for this one. Who most impressed, basically, is what it comes down to. Who most impressed is the understudy.
I think it's Golden Glue.
Yeah, Golden Glue.
Golden Glue's a great answer for me as
Golden
well.
Glue is a really good answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Alorum and Grig, though.
No, it's too late. It's already the Glutes. It's the Glutes. Vault Boy himself. He's got a sequel coming in later this year. He's already saying that the original's the best already.
He was playing like a monster, though. This solo kill on Deathly, I actually had no idea Swain does that much damage.
I did.
I don't think Deathly did either.
No, I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, Golden Glue's actually insane. This guy's super impressed for a player who had been sort of called a choke artist for so long, had a lot of sort of rough games. He's like the most veteran of those players coming in, and he's like actually on another level this time around. I think it's really cool. All right, next one up, we've got our third question. We're going to queue up this challenge. This one coming from Fragzor. WTF was that early game fight? Blank packed his bags, decided to try living it out in the wind among the wolves.
Biofrost?
Why am I in there?
Wait, let me think about Biofrost.
What did you screw up? Actually, I'm ready for what my answer is.
Oh, man. I actually don't know, because Huni goes towards, like, all fights. Bjergsen had some fights that got started by him.
Yeah, he ran into the wolves and just like got his team killed. Like I'm very confident.
I think it's Soren. I think it's Soren.
You think it's Soren?
Bjerg?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it probably is. It probably
Soren
is.
Bjerg, it is. It's him.
Right,
I looked at the next card.
Nice.
Yes, we did it.
Yeah,
Biofrost and I high five. You didn't see it, but it happened. I promise. I've now touched a living legend.
Yeah, I thought this was this comment was saying that he was like running away from the fight, right, and just ditching his team. But this makes a lot of sense. Bjergsen started like 2 fights that really put his team behind early.
Yeah, he had some good plays too on the Anivia, but some oopsie moments as well right there. And this was a very close game, honestly, between Clutch and TSM. The steals really helped. I think Brig had a pretty good day as well, but.
And we're doing well on these. Like,
we got a few of them.
Combine our minds together, we can figure out Reddit.
It's scripted.
I mean, yeah, it's actually slightly scripted. Also, Reddit's a little simple-minded. And now we have one final challenge. We're loading up chat voting once again for this one. Happy Face writes, man, Blank's Kaisa ult single-handedly turned that game around. Shout out Uzi, by the way, on RNG. I'm going to say it's not really an option here because it is an NALCS question. But Double is Kaisa, Cody Sun's Kaisa, Deathly's Kaisa, or Power Beagle's Kaisa? Who most likely turned around a game from Happy Face?
Golden Guardians had a comeback.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, or is it a really bad ultimate where he ints?
Yeah, that's right. That's
turns
the other
around.
one I'm thinking about. I'm like, did anybody int this week? Oh my
I think
God.
it's Power of Evil.
I think it's Power of Evil.
Pee-wee turning things around?
I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna go Double
I'm
Lift.
gonna go Deathly. So
All
we're
right.
scattered here.
Ooh, we're all wrong. Cody's son. Cody's son turned it around. 100 Thieves has some close games. Yeah, 100 Thieves. Oh yeah, they had to come back winning against Cloud9. That actually makes sense. If I remember who they played against, I would put it together for that. Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Cody's a pretty good performer.
Wow, we scattered them around. We even had like a freebie with
Yeah,
Uzis. Like
we had removed the option.
wow.
And we went 0-3.
God, we're awful.
Yeah. All right, well, you know what? I don't take any blame as the host, so I'm going to bench you two for next week, and we'll find other people. Maybe bring back Hooney. He was much better at this.
Wow.
Including the Sion Speedway.
What the heck?
I'm just toxic. Like, this is how it is. And meanwhile, chat, by the way, you know what? We should bring chat on. I think chat will be our guest. We'll just have a computer and beep, boop, beep, boop.
But a lot of them said Uzi.
Yeah, but that's a trolling. So this is Twitch chat we're talking about and YouTube chat. Like, they're just going to pick the one that doesn't count.
Okay.
All right. Either way, we're giving you benefit of the doubt the whole way through. Now, throughout the weekend, we took to Twitter, and you took to Twitter, rather, to praise the jaw-dropping moments that you saw, and we've decided to pull up some of our favorites brought to you by Acer Predator. Up first, RSG Ziki commends Grig's sacrifice for the good of the steal. And, yep.
That was just really, really close there. Lyra, though, not able to land that smite. Grig gets in there with the ultimate, the drive-by. Oh! Lyra does redeem himself later, gets the suppression with the Skarner ultimate into the steal on the Drake, and then ended up winning the game there. So Grig did basically what he could to keep TSN in that game at the time.
What are the comps like, Vile, when you're going for like Baron steals? Is it like let him die, just go for the 1 for 0, or do you like try to build space? Like, because TSN actually had charged in during that one. There
is a lot of things that you think about in a Baron steal. The comms are usually super hectic. I think in ours, we actually had a Baron steal. And Raynor was just like, burst it, and then we're just hoping to God that we get it.
Yeah, like, how does that one work? Because normally it's like the support's like, I'm going to headbutt this guy away or keep him out or like distract this guy. Top laners will like run interference. Nocturne's just like, no, he's going to go straight in.
Yep.
And you have to like either burst it or hold DPS and assume he's going to go in. But they like blue trinketed it at that time. And I'm pretty sure even with Nocturne getting in there, like, you're going to have that 50-50. Like, Nocturne forced that.
Yep.
Oof.
And they're unstoppable, so, like, you don't get to headbutt them or whatever. Sometimes life is pain. Next up, Panic Kiri highlighted Ole's binding supremacy on his pocket pick. This one, I think the bot lane 2v2 at, like, level 1 or whatever.
Yeah, I think this was, like, level 1, level 2.
Whoops.
This was brutal.
Yeah, so that's a good start.
Yeah, what's it like playing against Ole when, oh, man,
Every skill shot lands?
And that just helps Kaisa so much because the Plaza being stacked by the Morgana Q into the guaranteed W means you only got to attack him twice. And
man, that Kaisa will really turn the game around. See, I'm right.
Shut up, Phreak. But what's it like playing against Ole, especially when he gets that Morgana?
Well, I remember the first time I played against Ole's Morgana was when I was still on TSM and we were playing against his Caitlyn Morgana. I got hit by a bind and I was like, well, I guess I'm dead now. And then I died again. It was a pretty bad game, but I haven't played against it recently.
Hopefully never again. You just ban it or, you know, just win the matchup.
Honestly,
anyway.
never again.
That's Finally, Jin shouts out, Rain vs Baron steal around an incredibly well-played team fight. And we have Biofrost here. We've got their comms as well, so we'll listen to that.
Yo, careful. Take this ping.
Just try to pressure them. Try to pressure them into me.
He in. I'm going. Okay, yo, no.
Let's go.
Yo,
go kill her.
Yeah, I'm in. Swain.
Swain. We got Swain.
Is that?
We killed Swain.
Got it.
Nice.
Holy shit, let's go, Legion.
I thought your Swain Peel was really good, by the way. He's like trying to chase down Kaisa, and you're like, no.
Yeah, I actually don't even remember what we said there because I didn't hear the comms there.
Oh, it's basically a lot of
it didn't go through to you?
It's basically a lot. He doesn't have an earpiece.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, you basically, I think Trevor was yelling Swain, 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 and he just like ate him and spit him back out. And then you guys were like, burst it, because he went over the wall. And then he smited, so you guys got it.
Yeah, that moment was pretty nerve-wracking. I'm just glad we got the Baron.
Yeah, I imagine your fans must be as well. It was a very close game, actually, overall. That one was super back and forth. One thing, actually, just kind of curious like about that game, Aurelion Sol, I feel like, tends to slightly fall off as a champion. He's like an early mid-game roam champion. Does that, like, concern you when you're, like, 40 minutes in? You're like, ooh, we still have Ace Sol and the game's not over.
Yeah, so with our comp, luckily we had Kai'Sa, and we just knew that if we got to, like, 40 minutes with Kai'Sa, she's just a ticking time bomb. Like, her W just does, like, half of a person's HP.
Yeah, we noticed that. He, like, solo killed Febevin through, like, Zhonya's.
Yeah, it's crazy amount of damage.
It's pretty ridiculous. And even in that composition, too, like, Aurelion Sol, he usually falls off in the mid game, but against Trundle in particular, the pillar just destroys him. Like, it'll make his stars retract, and then it makes it so he has to walk all the way around this thing. So it really does, like, hurt him a lot. So having the Kai'Sa was this huge boon for CLG in the late game.
And good job, of course. The champ select and the comp worked, and you guys played beautifully. So thank you all at home for your submissions. Make sure you keep tweeting your favorite plays all season long using the hashtag NALCS. Now, in addition to big plays, we also ask you to tweet us your questions, and we are also here to answer them, most specifically Biofrost. First question comes from Jerry the Squid, who asks when
Dr. Jerry.
Dr. Jerry the Squid. My
people
apologies.
get mad about that. They go to med school. They
no,
get
of course.
PhD.
Unless you're a surgeon. In England, in which case you're back to Mister. Either way, he asked, when should the Cloud9 experiment end? I know you talked about this a little bit earlier, where you thought they were doing very well. I guess their results don't meet your expectations, but I guess still the question still stands to you.
Well, when I looked at their old roster, I never thought that they had any issues. So when they actually made the change, I was very surprised. I mean, I think the coaching staff knows the best, and if they're not getting results, that means they're probably going to end up changing things again. But whatever they end up doing, I'm pretty sure that C9 knows the best.
Yeah, it's so hard to call on this. Like, the fact that they went 0-2 this week with gigantic leads is indicative of the fact that they need some more veterans on the team. They need people to start talking a little bit more about how to end the game.
Sure.
So I think if anything, maybe Smoothie comes back in for Zeyzal. And they said for, like, basically motivation issues. But I know that Jensen's been climbing in solo queue.
Yeah.
And from what I've been seeing from Keith in the mid game and the late game, I feel like it's very difficult to kind of play around him when he's not completely on. Sure. So I think that personally, I think the experiment should be over this week. I think the team goes back to the drawing board with the academy team and learns how to close games a little bit better. But that's what I would say, is I want to see the main squad back, because this decision was made before you even saw them on stage, which potentially could increase motivation, which could have them face some losses and stuff. So I think having them come out and never play a game on the LCS stage in the first 2 weeks is really hard to get a judge of, like, where they're going to be, because scrims are a different beast.
Sure, that's very true. I mean, that's something that I think, like, all of us know, where, like, teams do differently in scrims than they do on stage, either because of nerves or because the games are more or less chaotic. Either way, we'll have to see what comes through to that one. Maybe you see some crazy stuff like the Fnatic version, where, like, Reckless is out, but Whippo's playing bot lane, and, like, maybe it's the Jensen Golden Glue. Like, that's the power duo, right? Like, you never know. Either way, our next question is for Biofrost specifically and comes from Jessica Rose and asks, how are you dealing with being more of a shot caller on the team? Are you sharing responsibilities with another teammate?
Well, now we have actually a different system from last split. Okay. We have, like, everyone kind of doing it, and so far it's been working well for us. It's just that last split we had pretty limited time to, like, test it. So in the latter half of the split, we were like, okay, let's just do this. But now we've had more time to kind of, like, reflect on that and see, like, what works for us and what doesn't. And so far our system works. I think what we more have to focus on is, like, our execution.
Sure. Are you sort of, speaking of execution, are you sort of meeting expectations, under, overperforming? Like, how do you think your 2-2 reflects on you as a team?
I think we're definitely underperforming right now. A lot of people would look at CLG and be like, okay, you're actually overperforming right now. We expected you to be, like, 0 wins. But I think there's a lot of good talent on the team, and I would expect us to do a lot better. Okay.
Well, we'll see that in the coming weeks. Of course, hoping to improve upon 7th. Of course, the goal being world for every team here. One final question is actually a challenge from Swim. Overreact to the first 2 weeks. Who makes worlds?
Golden Guardians.
Oh, whoa.
That was my answer too, actually.
Well,
that's
a big overreaction. It's like, why not Optic? Optic beat them, Golden Guardians, in, like, the first match. So,
They're still 2-2, though.
Yeah, but they beat them. No.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the whole point is overreaction. I mean, Liquid and Fox were in first, but those don't feel like overreactions. Like, they're already going to Rift Rivals in 2 weeks, which is going to be exciting. And he's going to win, right, at Rift Rivals?
Of course.
Okay.
I've actually won Rift Rivals before.
That's right, yeah. A former Rift Rival champion, here to say NA still the best region in the West. Hell yeah. Absolutely hard agree.
He can come back next week.
Who's your third team going to Worlds, though? I guess you already said Golden Guardians, but
Yeah. Well, I just excluded ourselves.
TL Fox Guardians.
Yeah, I don't think you can't even choose yourself because that's an obvious.
Yeah, it's
answer.
cliche.
CLG is
Okay,
absolutely
yeah,
going.
yeah.
You're gonna be automatic invite anyway. Just
Who else?
being
Who else?
CLG.
It just feels so wrong for TSM to not be at Worlds.
Spoken like a former TSM player.
There's plenty of NA fans who like to say it feels bad to see some at Worlds, so I could see it. They've had some bad
true.
runs.
A lot of bad runs as well.
Is what it is.
Well,
Either way,
look forward to disappointment again.
No, NA's gonna win Worlds this year. I tweeted it on April 1st. I believe it firmly. With this weekend coming to a close, look ahead at next week's schedule presented by Jersey Mike's. We've got some barn burners coming up for week 3 of the NALCS, the last week before Rift Rivals. This is the final tune-up games for North America for the biggest tournament of the year. Cloud9 vs TSM headlines at all. TL, you got CLG versus Optic down at the bottom right there. You thought that maybe they'd be going to Worlds as a team that beat Golden Guardians. Anything stand out to you?
I'm looking forward to Team Liquid versus EchoFox. Curious as to who's gonna win.
Yeah, first place match.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Cloud9 versus TSM because if it's the return of Jensen versus Bjergsen, or if it's Golden Glue, Vault Boy going up against Bjergsen in the mid lane there. So regardless of who they run, I really want to see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's like watching the C9 games because they're very, very curious like what's actually gonna come out of that one. And
Yeah, the players are under a microscope right now for
it
fans,
absolutely is.
right?
And the coach as well, and the staff as well, right? Like it's a rough situation to be in. We'll see what comes out of it. Either way, more exciting games on the way. So before we sign off, a special thank you once again to Biofrost here for joining us now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for more NALCS night. NALCS, good night. That's the one.
Better than mine.
Favorite rivalry? It's probably Big versus Quan. It's always rubbing the wrong way that Quan took big spot back in Energy.
When you have two people pushing you in, it can't be tough. The flick back from Keen is amazing. The flash is good. The ignite is down. And Quan, he gets it.
Lucian is our focus, guys. Lucian. I'm at terrace. Terrace. About. Don't get die here. Don't die.
Good job. Get them in the wall, but the drop is so short. Ulti for fun from Centaur finds him in Power of Evil. He's shut down. FlyQuest, they're trying to find their first win. FlyQuest find their victory.
August 4th, it's the rematch. How are you going to prepare to take Quan down?
1-1, boys.
I'm there, but you guys can win, I think. Good job, Johnny got
nice,
two.
Johnny.
Kill this guy, kill Swam.
Hey, Yasuo. We can fight together. Nice.
Lolo is able to find that big 34 proc. The Golden Guardians health bars are looking pretty rough. The AoE is there. It's a triple kill for Altec. But the one who's jumped on, that's still a Braum. That's still not the guy you need. The damage is there. And Echo Fox will completely obliterate the Golden Guardians line. Value support item. And again, damage backing up.
Don't have ulti. Hey, this guy, Peter.
Oh my God. Ignite down again. There's the killer instinct. Double is looking for it. Olay.
We've seen this champion carry games, but right now we're seeing her get shot to pieces. A little bit more damage coming out. Tries to flash away, but not quite today.
Is that the kill Swain? 50. Got it. Oh my God, we're trolling, guys. What's happening? Okay.
Licorice bullying some days, but unless you actually get the kill.
Yeah, goes for grabs the first blood, but Keith actually takes up Meteos on the other side, and Licorice looking to re-go for the solo.
Yasuo. I need help. Yasuo. I don't stand. Keep fight.
Nice.
Hey, come back.
Nice. Scaring in a dive in, try and find a steal, but he doesn't grab it instead. The fight will start as Cody again. Killer instinct to the backline, takes down Zazel.
Yasuo.
Kill the Yasuo.
I'm here 1 second.
Nice.
Nice. Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. This one's for sneaky boys.